So welcome forward to day 5 of our reflections on St. Joseph. Now I just want to more or less focus on that word saint. So I want to just think about how did St. Joseph become a saint. Now I'm not talking about the formal mechanism of becoming a saint, but actually why or how did he become a saint. And actually if we're to imitate St. Joseph, then we too are called to be saints. So I'm going to leave you with, not leave you at the moment, but I'm going to give you 3 quotes. I'm not going to tell you who said them, so you can pause the video after the quotes if you like and try to look up who said them. So again, that would just help your reflections. The first one is, we are all called to be saints. The second is, we are all called to be great saints. Don't miss the opportunity. And the third one is, to be saints is not a privilege for the few, but a vocation for everyone. So, thinking about those quotes, it basically means that we are all called to be saints, and that's what we should be aspiring to. And we can do that by imitating St. Joseph. So if we're imitating St. Joseph, we talked previously before about the fact that this was a virtuous man, so therefore we're going to imitate the fact that he was a virtuous man. So what are these virtues? And these virtues would have been gifts from the Holy Spirit that would have come through his profound relationship, his prayer life with God. I mean, there's a bit of a quote that goes more or less along the lines that, he even spoke to God in his sleep, or he even understood God when God spoke to him when he was in his sleep. That's how profound his prayer life was. So when we talk about virtues, we talk about faith, hope and love, and they're I suppose the most known or most common virtues. But the other ones, which again we don't really talk about too explicitly, are justice, courage, temperance and prudence. And again, it's not for me to explain them here, maybe later on in the reflections to come, but just to give you an example of what a virtue is. We talked about virtue meaning excellence, and actually the Greek moralists believed that these virtues were essential if you were to become happy. So if you're living out the virtues, then you will become happy, and there is a connection there clearly. So in terms of, say, if we just pick one, like the virtue of courage, in terms of a definition of a virtue, people say that it's the medium of 2 extremes. So what are the 2 extremes of courage? So if courage sits in the middle here, what are the 2 extremes that are not good? So just, again, you could pause the video and try to think about that yourself. So again, so you've got courage in the middle, then on this side you might have cowardice, and you've got courage in the middle, and on the other extreme you've got thoughtlessness, or being a fool, or being a foolhardy, so not taking anything serious, and that's certainly not courage. So that gives you an idea of what a virtue is. It's the medium of 2 extremes. And the reason why I've picked courage is because that's partly to do with answering some of the reflections we had yesterday. So why do we need a devotion to St. Joseph these days? Well, if we're going to imitate St. Joseph in the virtues, we're going to have to be courageous in living out our spirituality. So what is our spirituality? Well, it's our faith in action. So St. Joseph put his faith in action. He put his trust in God in action. So that is what we're being called to do as well. Put our faith in action, put our trust in God in action. And in that way, we're, I suppose, on the journey to becoming saints. So I'll leave you with that. Until tomorrow, God bless.